Get to the Patriots' loss to the Ravens in a second, but first Raiders and Lions, and Darryl Worley making a great one-handed interception.
That's an outstanding play. Usually the corner will try to play through the hands of the receiver, but Worley's able to get his head around, locate the football, and then make a play on the ball and survive the ground.
Maybe the game of the day, if you were watching in the afternoon window, and Oakland playing in that stadium first time in months.
Chiefs and Vikings, Matt Moore finding Sammy Watkins for an incredible one-handed catch.
Nick, I thought this game was over after the Vikings went up 16-10, so credit to that Chiefs team for being able to punch back without having their starting quarterback.
Yeah, but my fellow Kansas Cityans, why are you selling your tickets to all these Minnesotans? That was, I've never seen Arrowhead that purple. I know Minnesota only gets played there once every 8 years, but that wasn't no typical Arrowhead home field advantage. I was disappointed in my hometown yesterday. Luckily, the players, led by one Harrison Butker, pulled it out.
Broncos, Browns, Cortland Sutton going full Superman for the touchdown catch here. That was nice.
Yeah, that's an outstanding play right there. Just the body control to be able to lay out and make that play on the ball. And then he's got his hands out there to be able to take that hit from the ground and still hold on to it without having it bobble. That's an outstanding catch.
Look at Soldier Boy go up and get it. How about, I can't believe this was a touchdown. I don't think this was a good throw.
No, it wasn't a good throw. The kid had, listen, before that game, the kid hadn't made an NFL throw ever. That's his receiver making a play for a quarterback.
All right, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens hosting Tom Brady and the Patriots. Lamar gave the Pats headaches all night, throwing 1 touchdown and rushing for 2. On the flip side, Tom Brady struggled, posting his second lowest passer rating in a game this season. And the Patriots uncharacteristically lost the turnover battle. New England handed their first loss of the season. They never led once. Here's Bill Belichick after the game.
Give them credit. They're better than we were tonight. Certainly the better team. And, you know, we just all got to do a better job. So I don't know what else there is to say.
Also the most that Belichick's ever said anytime, ever, to any human. Chris, who would win in a postseason rematch here between these two teams, Ravens and Patriots?
Well, obviously, a lot of it depends on where they play the game. But, I mean, assuming that the Patriots are able to hold on to the #1 seed and they got to go into Foxborough, the Patriots have to avoid making the mistakes that they made last night. And what I mean by that is obviously the turnovers, but also giving the Baltimore Ravens new life from penalties. The Ravens had 4 first downs from Patriots penalties. They don't play football like that. You saw that in the first drive. Shalik Calhoun jumps off sides on the field goal.
That was shocking.
Gives them a new set of downs. And then, of course, you know what Baltimore is going to do. You know, 4 downs inside the 5. They're going to ram it down your throat, and that's exactly what they did. But, I mean, unless the Patriots are able to find some answers to that run game from the Ravens, I don't see the result changing, because the Ravens did exactly what they wanted to do in terms of using the ground game to control the pace and the complexion of that ball game.
And I understand the Patriots might have Isaiah Wynn back at some point. He's already, like, designated to return from IR.
And N'Keal Harry maybe
they just brought him back.
Yeah.
And those two players have one thing in common. We have no idea if they're good NFL players. Never seen N'Keal Harry. Seen Isaiah Wynn for 5 minutes. And, I mean, I understand they're both first-round picks, and they both were great college players. We have no idea if there's some great reinforcement coming along the way. Meanwhile, the Ravens just getting better now. Like, you just got Jimmy Smith back. We know he's a very good NFL player. They just traded for Marcus Peters. We know in Kansas City he was a great NFL player. With the Rams, he was not a good NFL player. We'll see what he is with Baltimore. Man, Earl Thomas sure looked like first ballot Hall of Famer Earl Thomas that he was before he suffered a couple broken bones in Seattle. And for the Patriots to be the favorite in a rematch, they have to systemically change some things that happened yesterday. And I get it. I already know Patriot fans are going to say one of 2 things. One is, man, if not for the fumble 70 yards by Humphrey, we're taking the lead. Sure. And if not for a muffed punt by Baltimore, that thing's 24-0. 20 minutes into the game. Like, Baltimore was crushing New England early. It took back-to-back fumbles by Baltimore to get New England back in that football game, and then New England paid the favor back. But here's the other thing I'm already hearing. Well, we all know that Belichick is not going to show you his full arsenal in the regular season when you might have to play this team in the postseason. Man, when you're undefeated and you're facing the only 2-loss team in your conference other than the Bills, that is a critical game. They could have eliminated the Ravens from the 1-seed conversation. They could have given the Ravens 3 losses. They would have had 0 and the tiebreaker. That's a 4-game lead with 8 to play.
And they have another date with the other team that has 2 losses in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills.
And they've already beat them once.
Yep.
And so the idea that the Patriots weren't giving their full effort yesterday or their full... No. They could have all but wrapped up the AFC last night. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, after the bye, what does New England have coming up? Oh, in a few weeks after that, they play Houston. They play Kansas City. Before that, they have Dallas and Philly. The Patriots gave it their best shot last night and got whooped. Now, I don't know that we will see this in the postseason. If we do, based on what we saw yesterday, you have to say, barring a systemic change on either team, the Ravens would be the favorite. The Ravens, to me, were the favorite going into last night. The Ravens were the more tested team. And we are going to get to find out if I was right about New England. When everyone had their power rankings the same as the standings, undefeated team, they have to be number 1. If you don't have number 1, it's just a hot team. Watch the games. The Patriot offense has been mediocre all year. They faced real resistance twice this season. Against Buffalo, they scored 1 touchdown. Against Baltimore, they got dominated. This is an excellent defense that got exposed a bit yesterday.
Yes.
And an offense that is leaky with a 42-year-old quarterback who, dare I say, right now has not been a force multiplier for them. So who do I think would be the favorite in the rematch? The team with the better quarterback, the team with the better roster, the team with a more explosive offense? That's Baltimore.
I would argue that not just their defense, but their offense and their quarterback yesterday got exposed. I think Bill Belichick was the only one that we know exactly who he is coming in, going out. All right, we'll talk much more about that still ahead. But coming up, did Russell Wilson make an MVP statement yesterday? That's next on First Things First.
And he says he's been making it all year.
100%.